The vibe is immediately chaotic as Snow is absolutely losing it over a bet involving the current emperor. Little Minion tries to sneak away from the drama, but Snow catches them. It is honestly giving major sibling energy where one is doing way too much, while the other just wants to peace out and touch grass. They spot a sword that looks suspiciously familiar, triggering some main character flashbacks. Snow starts yapping about a lost and found notice, totally convinced that whoever lost it is going to be waiting by a phone booth all night. Little Minion is clearly over it and tries to ghost the conversation to go rest. Snow intercepts Minion trying to sneak out again, claiming nothing escapes their Demon King vision. Snow is actually kind of sweet here, noticing Minion didn't eat dinner and worrying about them. But Minion is determined to go adventuring solo to avoid dragging Snow into trouble with the Hyper-Orion soldiers. Snow refuses to be left behind, basically saying they are a package deal. It is a wholesome moment where Snow declares that Minion is under their wing, and any mess Minion makes is also their mess. They agree on a signal to run if things get sketchy, proving their teamwork is essentially undefeated. They arrive at the destination and spot a ghost, or at least Snow thinks it is a ghost. It turns out to just be trash, which is a total fail. They finally spot someone in the red phone booth, and Snow decides it is go time, declaring this random booth the ultimate destination of their adventure. A suspicious interaction happens at the booth. Minion asks for a coin, but the person is super rude and tells them to get lost. It turns out the soldiers are watching everything. They are hunting a specific target, and Minion just walked right into the middle of a high-stakes surveillance operation without even realizing it. The commander realizes the target might have an accomplice and orders a full lockdown. The vibes shift from awkward to dangerous real quick. They decide to detain every living thing in sight, which is honestly doing the most. The squad is now in serious trouble and needs to exit the situation immediately. Snow is hyping themselves up for saving Minion, demanding praise for their brilliance. They need to escape before the trap snaps shut. They spot some weird machines and decide to steer clear, showing some basic survival instincts. The tension is high as they look for a way out of the encirclement. Minion suggests the sewers, but Proprietress GU appears out of nowhere with a better plan. She drops some ancient war wisdom, explaining that the open manhole is definitely bait. It is a classic trap, and she saves them from making a rookie mistake that would have sent them straight to the gulag. They run into a guard who tries to stop them. GU activates her girl boss mode, spinning a wild story about being a wealthy merchant with an important meeting. She drops big names like "it is nothing," effectively gaslighting the guard into thinking he is about to ruin his career by detaining a VIP. Hi there! If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. GU produces fake documents that actually have a real signature, leaving everyone shook. The guard completely folds and agrees to let them pass, even offering an escort. GU has essentially hacked the system with nothing but confidence and a few pieces of paper, proving she is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Once they are safe, GU reveals she hired a Phoxhunter to act as a decoy. She explains that she set up multiple baits across different cities to confuse the enemy. It is a masterclass in strategy, and Minion realizes that GU is not just a merchant, but a tactical genius who is 10 steps ahead. Since they can't leave until the airship departs, GU decides to take them to Huashu. She offers Minion a job, framing it as a fun adventure with good pay. Minion realizes they have no other choice but to accept, basically signing up for a side quest that is about to become the main plot. They are traveling via airship and boat, covering thousands of miles in a single day thanks to fancy technology. Minion is amazed by the scenery, comparing it to their tiny hometown. It is a moment of pure wonder as they leave the snow behind for the lush green mountains of the south. GU gives a lore dump about Huashu, describing it as a peaceful land with no crime because of the Star Weavers. She claims no blade is ever unsheathed in wrath, which sounds fake, but okay. Snow and Minion are skeptical, finding it hard to believe a place could be that perfect. They arrive at the docks, but their contact is missing. While waiting, Minion gets distracted by food smells, because priorities. GU decides to show them around since the contact is late, turning the business trip into a mini vacation. Minion is ready to eat everything in sight. GU tells them to buy whatever they want on her tab. She is flexing her wealth hard, and Minion is absolutely here for it. They meet a merchant who reveals GU is actually the High Chancellor of Long Yan, essentially the boss of everything, but she prefers to keep it low-key. They meet Lunoarp, who is manifesting their dreams of becoming the greatest Star Weaver. Snow starts yapping about their own dream of being the Demon King, and Lunoarp surprisingly buys it, becoming an instant fan. It is a chaotic meeting of two very delusional but ambitious icons. A dude with a knife holds a boatman hostage, instantly disproving the whole no crime in Huashu theory. GU stays calm while Minion freaks out. Suddenly, a giant beast appears and wrecks the guy. It is a guardian beast called a Bian, proving that the law here is enforced by literal monsters. GU explains the 9 chapters of Daong, which is the magical law that summons beasts to punish criminals. It is extremely metal. She reveals that the Scourge of Zhuyin is waking up, causing bad vibes and monsters to appear. This is the main conflict, and things are about to get messy. Lunoarp takes over the tour guide duties while GU deals with business. He explains that the Scourge is bad for business, which is a very capitalist way to view an apocalypse. He takes them to see a stele with the laws carved on it, but Minion can't read the ancient text. Lunoarp explains the harsh rules. Violence equals instant punishment by the Bian. It is terrifying but effective. He mentions that Long Scions can awaken as Bian or magistrates, which sounds cool but also kind of burdensome. Minion is learning that this peaceful land is built on constant surveillance. Minion touches the stele and suddenly understands the text because a voice speaks in their head. This is classic Chosen One behavior. Snow immediately starts theorizing that Minion is a descendant of some legendary founder, hyping them up as usual. Lunoarp is just confused, but goes with the flow. A Sable Bian attacks them out of nowhere. This is a corrupted version of the Guardian Beast. Minion and Snow are shook, but a passing trader saves them with some incense. It turns out incense is not just for smelling good, it actually protects people from these monsters. Lunoarp explains that they need to go to the Argent Lung Temple to recharge their protection. The incense acts as a shield against the bad vibes. It is a whole system where faith and magic keep the monsters at bay. They head to the temple to get blessed and stay safe. At the temple, they learn that incense sustains the 9 chapters. It is a reciprocal relationship between the people and the divine. Minion decides to pray for luck, hoping to get some divine favor. It is a moment of quiet reflection before they get back to the chaos. Back at Everspring, GU is handling a crisis with the merchants who are panicking about the lockdown. She is a master negotiator, offering to buy their goods at a fair price to calm them down. She is basically carrying the entire economy on her back while looking effortless. GU gives Minion the official quest. Go to the Grit Blight Expanse and get Dreaming Scales to seal the evil Zhuyin. She admits she hired Minion because of their special resonance ability. It is a transactional relationship, but Minion respects the honesty and agrees to take the job. They need a special tool from the black market to get the scales. GU warns them it is a shady place, and they need a secret signal to get in. Snow is hyped for a stealth mission, ready to prove they are the ultimate badass duo. They head to the coastal cavern. In the cave, they run into Yuming, a magistrate fighting off Sable Bian. He is super skilled, but kind of grumpy. He tries to send them away for their safety, not realizing they are the main characters of this story. He eventually agrees to escort them, though he judges their destination. Yuming gets injured protecting them, but refuses help because he is tragically stubborn. He reveals he is seeking atonement for past failures. Minion and Snow bandage him up anyway, ignoring his protests. They leave him to rest, covering him with leaves in a comedic attempt at camouflage. They arrive at the black market, but the gatekeeper is not impressed. They lost the secret pendant during the fight, so now they look like intruders. The gatekeeper is about to kick them out until they name-drop GU, which barely buys them any time. The situation is incredibly awkward. A girl confronts a merchant named Mr. Chu about a fraudulent contract. It is a classic David versus Goliath moment. Chu is unbothered, using the strict letter of the law to justify his scam. He challenges her to a duel to clear the debt, which feels like a trap. Minion realizes the duel is rigged to trigger the Beyond's punishment on the girl. They step in to save her just in time. Mr. Chu is annoyed that his entertainment was ruined, but switches up his attitude instantly when he realizes who they are. He is slippery and dangerous. Mr. Chu gives a villain monologue about how morality is for the weak, and profit is the only truth. He is cynical and manipulative, basically telling them that being a sheep gets you eaten. Despite his toxicity, he gives them the tool they need, and a bamboo flute as a gift. They meet Fushu, a healer treating the injured girl. She uses a technique that transfers the injury to herself, which is incredibly noble but also self-destructive. Minion gives her the flute from Chu, and Fushu recognizes it, agreeing to owe them a favor in return. The flute clearly has history. They meet Master Gong Shan to learn how to use the tool. He is disappointed they didn't bring a gift, but agrees to test them anyway. They have to solve a puzzle using a mechanical nexus. Minion crushes the test, proving they are actually kind of a genius with ancient tech. While gathering the scales, Minion hears a spooky voice prophesying an attack on Everspring. Snow thinks Minion is hallucinating, but Minion trusts their gut. They realize the threat is real and rush back to the city, knowing that time is running out. They arrive back at Everspring to find it under siege. GU has organized a defense, but it is chaotic. Minion and Snow jump into the fray, helping to hold the line. It is a full-on battle scene, and GU is impressed by their timing and skill. A pacifist tries to argue that fighting back violates the 9 chapters, which is the worst possible take during a monster attack. GU shuts him down immediately, prioritizing survival over dogma. She sends Minion to reinforce the temple, showing she is willing to bend the rules to save lives. The battle calms down and they hand over the scales to GU. She looks exhausted but relieved. Minion mentions the voice they heard, but GU dismisses it as a hallucination from the miasma. It feels like she is gaslighting them, hiding something important about the true nature of the threat. Mr. Chu sends a messenger to invite them on a hunt. He tempts them with info about a lost relative and connections to an archaeological society. It is clearly a trap or a scheme, but the bait is too good to ignore. They decide to check it out despite the red flags. They go to visit Fushu and find her missing. Her clinic is empty, which is creepy. They realize she went to find a special herb in the spirit realm to heal her patient. They follow her to the Spring of Yu, entering a mystical dimension filled with spirits called Wishins. They meet the elder Wishin, who reveals Fushu is over 100 years old and was in stasis. She is the last of her line. It is a heavy emotional beat, highlighting her loneliness. They learn where to find the herb, but also that Fushu is in danger of being lost in the rift. Minion gets pulled into the Oblivion rift, a void that erases memories. Fushu jumps in to save them. Inside, Fushu navigates Minion through their memories to keep them tethered to reality. It is a trippy, emotional journey through Minion's past and their search for their family. Fushu is about to sacrifice herself to save a spirit, repeating her pattern of self-destruction. Minion refuses to let her go, pulling her back from the edge. They have a heart-to-heart, where Minion convinces Fushu that her life matters too. It is a breakthrough moment for Fushu's character arc. They meet up with Mr. Chu for the hunt. He is hunting Yuming, wanting to capture him for study. It turns out Yuming is a rare case of a Bian who kept his human mind. Chu wants to dissect that power. Minion is disgusted by Chu's lack of ethics. They explore ancient ruins in Krung Hollow. They meet Kaju, a wandering swordsman who is looking for his lost brother. He is chill and instantly vibes with Snow's Demon King persona. The group dynamic shifts as they gain a powerful ally who is just as chaotic as they are. They find Yuming. Chu tries to force a confrontation, but Minion and Kaju stand between them. Kaju reveals Yuming is his lost brother. The family reunion is tense but stops the violence. Chu realizes he is outnumbered and retreats, proving he is a coward without the upper hand. They rush to GU's location for the sealing ritual. GU is already starting the process. She looks intense, and the vibe is off. Minion tries to warn her about the truth they saw in the memories, but GU is not listening. She is focused on her own endgame. GU begins her monologue, revealing she knows the 9 chapters are flawed. She absorbs the entity Zhuyin instead of sealing it. She declares the age of the old gods over and appoints herself the new ruler. It is a massive betrayal. She played everyone from the start. GU admits she sent Minion away to protect them because she actually cares, which is twisted. She traps them in a barrier and leaves with her new godlike power. Minion and Snow are left helpless as GU ascends, completely changing the power balance of the world. The dust settles, and the group is left in the wreckage. Kaju decides to go warn his people. Fushu is shaken but alive. Minion and Snow are confused and hurt by the betrayal, but resolve to find answers. The arc ends on a cliffhanger, with the heroes realizing the real fight has just begun. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.